Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Bible in a Minute. Today, we're going to look at the origin of languages. In Genesis, chapters 10 and 11, we see the origin of nations and the origin of languages. And we begin with the Tower of Babel. Now many people pass by this story every day without giving it a second thought. But what does it mean for us today? What can we learn from it? Let's find out. In Genesis 11, verse 1, it says, "And the whole world was of one language and one speech." Now, up until this point, everyone could understand each other because there was only one language. It was easy to communicate and get along. But after this, everything changed. It says that humanity decided they wanted to build a tower whose top would reach into heaven. They wanted to make a name for themselves so that they would not be forgotten. So everyone agreed to go to Shinar and build this tower. Everyone worked together and made bricks and burned them with fire, and the tower grew. Now, this wouldn't have been a problem if they had been building a tower to the Lord. But this was a tower to themselves, a tower to their own glory. This is the first time we see people act as a united force against God. They are trying to accomplish something great in their own eyes, but it was completely independent of God. When God saw what humanity was doing, he felt that it wasn't good. In fact, it says that he was grieved in his heart. Now, most of the time when God feels a certain way about something, it's a good thing. He is our Father who loves us very much, and he wants what's best for us. But this time, he felt regret over what he had made. It says that people were like the sons of God. They had great potential, but they chose to ignore him and do things their own way, and this caused a change in their lives. God said to himself, "If they are like the sons of God, then I will make them scattered and confused so they cannot understand each other." And that's exactly what he did. Some versions say that God came down in the form of a dove, while others say he came in the form of a whirlwind. Either way, he spoke to them and confused their language. This means that communication was impossible. The people couldn't understand each other. So they all went their separate ways, never to really come together again. And that's why we have different languages today. Because of the confusion at the Tower of Babel, God scattered the people across the earth, and they took their languages with them. This is important because when God created the world, everything was perfect. There was no sin, death, or pain. Everything was exactly the way it should be. But after the fall of man in the garden, things started to change. Sin entered the world, and as a result, death entered through sin. And we see this here at the Tower of Babel. God created man to have fellowship with him, but because of sin, that fellowship was broken. So God drove man out of the garden to work the ground from which he was taken. This is the first time we see the effects of sin, separation. Sin caused people to be separated from God and separated from each other. Even though God could have punished them, he didn't. Instead, he gave them another chance, an opportunity to start over, to rebuild their lives and have fellowship with God again. So, although this story may seem simple, it actually has some very deep meanings. It tells us that because of sin, people are separated from God and separated from each other. It also tells us that God desires for people to have fellowship with him. And even though they have sinned, he gives them another chance to come back to him. Hey, I hope this helped. If you want to watch more, just click right here, or click this other link. If you'd like to read the Bible for yourself, click right here. Thanks for watching. Remember, God loves you, and so do I.